Hey guys, Jampy00 here. Welcome to part 4 of my Charr Warrior playthrough. As you know, I normally do these videos as a stream, so they're live, so if I make mistakes, hey, it's gonna happen. They're not edited, they're not perfect. So, going through, unfortunately part 3 got cut short. PC had an issue and it crashed. I'm now kind of keeping an eye on a few other things, such as my temperatures and how my GPU, CPU are working as to why I'm getting this weird anomaly. I use the same PC to play the game and stream on, so that could be part of it, but I'm not really 100% sure. So, without further ado, let's get into it and let's get going on part 4 of the Charr. And I guess I'll continue my reflection of Guild Wars 2 and, you know, as a regular guy, and tell you some stuff that I like about it, and more importantly, some stuff that I dislike about it that I played over the weekend. And I'll kind of go into that as we're playing through the game. So we do have a guild now, and of course, you know, that's going really well and enjoying that. And so I started playing with another member of the guild on the weekend, and what we found was it was one of the things that I guess in comparison to this game versus other MMOs is that when you're in a party and you're doing quests, you are still doing the quests individually, as kind of opposed to doing it as a party, even if you are doing the same quest, and it's the same quest that shows up in your little compass in the right hand side. And we kind of were a little bit disappointed about that, because we were kind of testing it out, and what we found was, of course, I mean, mind you, still lots of fun to party up with guildmates and go and do quests. But we also found that it was a little bit frustrating. As well, because we kept just naturally assuming that somebody was done. And you would kind of run away from them and do other things. Let's get fighting here. Who's attacking me? And that kind of made it a little bit of a drag when you were playing in a party. Once again, these are just really little insignificant type things. First world problems for sure. But definitely something to keep note of. You know, I guess it's really dependent on your play style and how you like to play. Because, well, I guess, you know, just looking at the other main contender for MMO, and I'm pretty sure that everybody knows which one I'm talking about, that was something that always kind of made partying up a little bit easier, is the fact that you were just kind of able to do the quest together. You know, you weren't having to wait for the other person to do the quest, or wait for mobs to reappear, or what have you, especially if you purged out the area. Now, the one thing that I did like, though, is, of course, if you were attacking a mob and the person in your party even was able to get in a single shot, they would also get credit for it. So, in that regards, I mean, it was still pretty close. But being in the same area, it also made it a little bit more difficult to farm mobs, because if you got one and your partner didn't, or your party member didn't, then they lost out on that. Which was, you know, which is one of those things that we just kept, you know, you kind of attack things a lot slower, because you wanted your party member to catch up. Now, once again, yeah, get your shit together as a party, and, you know, communicate, which we were doing, but maybe that's definitely what has to be improved on, is just the level of communication for Guild Wars 2. The other thing that we did over the weekend is we started doing some dungeons. I've owned Guild Wars 2 for a long time, but I would consider myself, I'm still a very new player in it. I never did quite understand a lot of the dynamics of the game, which I'm starting to do a little bit better now, but still nowhere near where I need to be. So that was one of the things that we also found was a lot different. with dungeons. Dungeons were definitely hard and not as easy to be carried through as in the case with some other MMOs. So that was a huge, like a really rude awakening. And for us, especially for the newer players, you know, it just, and I guess that's what it is. It's just that the culture shock of the game actually being different than what you expect an MMO to be, and then versus what it really is. All of that being said, I still think this is an excellent game, and I wonder if this is above or below. Try to see if I can find that wily scope. The other thing that we also found that was kind of strange in a party type scenario was the fact that what I call the compass, which is the game guide, the compass, the GPS, whatever you want to call it, it wouldn't show the same thing for two players, even though we started brand new characters and we're actually in the exact same spot. One person was telling us to go one way, and then mine was telling me to go and do something different. We found that a little bit strange, and we also kind of found that, okay, you were kind of jostling back and forth as to, you know, who should be leading and who should be following, and so on and so forth. So that made it a little bit tough. Wow, I don't really want to anger this whole mob. You're going to come at me? What's up with these guys today? They'll stay invulnerable there. So that was definitely something that, you know, we wanted to discuss as well, that we found was quite difficult. So you kind of spent a little bit of time like, hey, go this way. No, I'm being told to go the opposite way. And that just made it strange, you know. It just made it a strange, a slightly more difficult way to play. I don't know what the hell's up with my game today, but there we go. Let's attack the person. The other thing that I will tell you is, typically in MMOs or any type of games, tab is what you use to target your enemy. Certainly the targeting system in this game, for lack of a better description, it has a mind of its own. I would have 3 mobs in front of me, and then I would go to attack a mob, and it would like pick some bloody long-horned ram like 4 miles away that I couldn't even see, especially as a ranged fighter as well. It really puts you in a disadvantage if you're in like a group setting where you're tabbing quickly through mobs. Because what I would normally try to do is find the one with the lowest health and pick them off, and then move to the next one and basically trying to play a support role. And that was tough. I just found it really odd that the targeting system wasn't intuitive enough to actually pick the threats. It was picking it wasn't even an angered mob. It was just some longhorn ram wandering by in the woods way down yonder, and boom, you know, before you knew it, you were bombing them. And we found that odd too. We were just kind of going through a couple of different things as we were playing and kind of making points of them. And yeah, you know what, we were using the staple MMO as our foundation of MMOs, and not to say that it's a perfect foundation by any means, but we definitely found some anomalies in Guild Wars that you're kind of still wondering, like, hey, how come, you know, these things haven't been addressed? Hey, a junior warhog. And you know, it just seemed really strange that the party dynamics don't seem to be very copacetic, which is kind of a drag. What they really should do is probably dictate the leader of the party is who you follow, and that's what you do. And when somebody's following the leader, they should be attuned to what the leader is doing, or, you know, or if that doesn't work, then make somebody else the leader and follow them, so to speak. So you can have like priority over where your targeting system or your compass, GPS, whatever the hell you want to call it, is telling you where to go. Because even 2 characters of the same race in the same zone for the first time, we're getting 2 very different outcomes as to where to go. And I don't mean the story quests. Excuse me, I mean just what I'm doing now, looking for hero points, points of interest, so on and so forth. And it was, at times, it was a little bit frustrating. Like, we were kind of arguing a little bit as to, you know, where we needed to go and what we needed to do. And we found it a little bit frustrating, because you want to just follow, like, what it's telling you to do, because hopefully it's providing you the most efficient path to follow. Oh no! Come on, beat her up, guys! Beat her up! Beat her up! Beat her up! Come on, we can do this!
Well done.
We did
Now
it!
get out there and do some good in the world. Build your legend.
Calling up those soldiers is definitely pretty cool. And I guess on a plus side, we kind of witnessed it there. Like in a lot of other MMOs, you would just stand there and just, you know, simply bash the same key and boom, you would get them all done. And what we found different in here was the fact that there's still some challenge to this game, and it's really good that's there, that's still part of the game dynamic, to have that challenge. Not always be able to win the fight. The other thing that we really did enjoy too is the fact that you level down to the area that you're in, so you can still get a good challenge out of it. This guy's a bum. Get out of here. Throw my sword. And it's kind of crazy that it's still actually, you know, even when you're discovering a lower area with a higher character, you still have a lot of challenge with it, and that's certainly something that's enjoyable. That we really liked. Looking at the guild, let's take a look at guilds and we can talk about that. So here's our guild, Guild of Awesome Things. It's one of the guilds that I've created. We're still incredibly, oh my goodness, still incredibly small. I think we got like 14 members or something, 16 members. So I wanted to kind of discuss some of the good and the bad of the guilds as well, that we've seen so far. Number one, the good thing about the guilds is that the guilds are account bound. They're not character bound. What that means is that if you had to remove somebody from the guild, you'd be able to remove all of their tunes and not have to go through them individually to remove them from the guild. And to me, that's a huge bonus. That's something that needs to be done on other games, because it just stops so much micromanagement from having to happen. How the hell do I get in here? But the one downfall with the guild is that it does lack some information that you could use as a guild within game, such as an in-game calendar or other types of, you know, other means of communication. How the hell do you get in here? How do I get to that waypoint? How do I get to that waypoint? Maybe I should go here. Run across. And so that's one of the things that we found was a little bit, you know, that you may have to look at an outside source in order to, you know, take care of things, or communication. And that's kind of a little bit of a drag. I mean, all you really do have is you can mail people. Where the heck am I? I'm not going anywhere I want to go. Can I actually get to village? Let's keep from here. And so that was one of the things that, you know, we found that, oh, now, you know, now we may have to do a website, and then we're just like, where there's typically not an issue with that. It's just, it would be nice, you know, to keep the guild within the guild. that would be something that we would definitely like to see. I know I certainly would anyways. I'm completely lost. Nice view. We've also certainly, I can tell you the other thing, we've certainly seen a resurgence in players since the Guild Wars core game, Guild Wars 2 core game has gone free to play, which is awesome that you're going to start getting back. You know, start building a player base, maybe, you know, obviously capturing some new players that you would have never normally have had if you kept the game the same way. So all in all, I mean, I definitely think ArenaNet is on a good path for the development of this game. I'm certainly enjoying it, which is odd because I've really kind of grown distant from the whole MMO thing. I've played many of them. Played World of Warcraft, WildStar, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy, and I really kind of got turned off. And I'm subconsciously, I think it was probably the subscription. Because if I put the game down, I felt, oh man, I'm kind of wasting my money. I'm not, you know, I'm not playing this game and not getting my $14 a month value out of the game or whatever it may be, right? And so that's where, you know, you almost kind of become a little bit bitter towards them. Okay, so far I can find tons of these plants, but no. Oh, I see a telescope guy. Telescope guy, show me the way. Show me the way, oh telescope guy. So yeah, I certainly think I'm getting my money's worth out of Guild Wars 2. I mean, just I've already purchased the expansion, which I'm looking forward to. And most of the people that I'm playing with are in the same. Even the people that are playing for free, they look pretty excited about the expansion as well. And I think we'll probably see them purchasing. I need to see, where is my telescope guy?
The war against the Centaurs continues, even here. We're pretty far from the main Seraph force, but we keep fighting. Kane is a one-man wrecking crew, and the companions know how to raise some dust, too.
Raise some dust. We'll point back out at nodes too. This is another great thing about this game is the fact that the node... What the hell, buddy? What did I do to you? That the node is there for everyone. And that is an excellent feature. That was certainly one of my pet peeves in other MMOs, is that you would go to all of this trouble. You're, you know, I'm mining today. I'm gonna level up my mining. And you'd go to all this trouble to find these nodes, and there'd be some stupid thing that you had to fight in order to get to the node, and then somebody'd come along and take it. Which, you know, hey, rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. They have the ability to do that. But it was still a bummer for you, because now you had to either find another one or wait for something. About that. Well, Centaur supplies are good. cool. I got a ballista. I got a ballista, mister. Our other thing that we found was that was a little bit disturbing while we were partying together and doing some quests, is that the one thing that it is lacking is even a general direction as to where you need to go to accomplish the quest. That is definitely a challenge, especially if there's a bunch of people and there's no mobs or there's no obvious something to do. That becomes a drag. Because then you spend a lot of time running around in circles.
Coming in from the shoreline. Get ready, people. Stay inside the camp. Use our numbers and the defenses to our advantage.
What we got going on here now? The hell am I stuck on? Oh no, centaurs!
Weakness makes me sick.
Gaining adrenaline.
Back me up! Make them come to us. We hold Shore Bluff now.
This is also a great thing that if you can stumble across this where you have a world event or one of these little spontaneous events while you're doing a quest and they're actually the same thing, it's like, dear God. Double bonus, man. Double bonus.
Doesn't it?
Adrenaline rising.
More will come.
Oh man, they're knocking me down like crazy. Get up.
I feel strong.
That was a sweet one. There we go. Quest is done. Ooh, money, money, money. Now we just wait and we'll just finish off the rest of this mission and then we are good. But so far my experience with Guild Wars 2, I will probably say 8 out of 10. There's 8 excellent things I like about the game and there's those 2 things that just kind of aggravate me in any given situation. And you know, between the graphics, the amount to do within the game, the amount to discover, in the depth of the storyline, you really do feel part of the world.
Adrenaline rising.
And that definitely is a good thing. A lot of times MMOs feel like, you know, all you're going to do is you're paying for the ability to pick this up, bring it to this guy, and then go pick something else up and bring it to that guy. How many Murloc eyes do you actually need? And this does have a more dynamic world within your, at least within your world, if decisions that you make have a factor over the world that you play in. And I think that's a really cool concept to have as well, which a lot of other MMOs lack because the world is generic. It has to stay the same for everybody. And with the use of Guild Wars and how they do these little instances, so to speak, holy smokes, these guys are just beating me up. Call in my buddies. I've also started an engineer, so that may be, I may do Charr and engineer as well.
Stay sharp.
Kind of showing some differences between a melee class and a ranged class. Mind you, even with a warrior, you can use a bow if you want, but really the objective is to, and the more powerful weapon you're going to get is through a hand weapon, sword, hammer, axe, etc., whatever you choose. And there's kind of a play style for everyone as well too, and how you want to do it. I've seen some people playing warriors and they play them as if they're, you know, a ranged character, and they do quite good with that. But there are still some challenges in this game that I'm a little bit surprised they haven't overcome, and I would love to see them add. I do have that wish list of things I would love to see within Guild Wars 2. And maybe some of them at this point I've just not discovered. And that's why I don't want to speak too soon about them. But I'm sure the same wish list that I have is for a lot of players have the same thing. I'm also going to try to keep my videos a little bit shorter, guys. I mean, I do know that I have some videos that are 4 hours long, and while I do appreciate you guys checking them out, I certainly don't expect anybody to watch 4 hours of somebody playing Guild Wars 2. So I'm going to try to keep them down to about half an hour. A lot more discussion, and hopefully if you guys like or dislike what I'm saying, or you have your own opinion, please put it down in the comments below. I certainly would love to hear from you, and I try to my best, you know, to obviously reply to every comment that I get. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, player.me, a bunch of other things. You can come onto Darkhaven and join us. You can feel free to want to join our guild. We're pretty open as to who we allow in. And of course we cater to new and old players alike. Are we gonna beat these guys? We got a few more to go down here. Get over here. The nice thing about the events too, just to kind of finish off my stream talking about these random events, is as you see other players coming in, and it's a lot of times it's a good way for players to bond together and join up. I've had a lot of these events where I've then tossed out a guild invite, and boom, somebody will come and want to join the guild, or at least have some questions about it, and that's always cool too. But completed this event once again. Only about 30 minutes today for this video, so I do appreciate you guys watching it. If you got any questions or comments or opinions or anything you want to say, put it down in the comments below and I'll be sure to check it out. And until next time, I'm going to try to get another video out really soon. I do apologize for the delay. I wanted to ensure that I wasn't going to run into any more computer issues, but it looks like hopefully things are working their way and things are getting done right and all that good stuff like that there. And guys, thanks again so much for checking me out, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.